Hi, my name is David Knight, and welcome to those amazing Psalms. This is the second of 5 Psalms for Advent. Psalm 104, a place to call home. The advent of Jesus is something like the Golden Gate Bridge, a beautiful roadway suspended between two towering pillars, the creation and the consummation of all things, and bridging the chasm between them. Or we could think of it as the central act of a 3-act play: creation, redemption, and new creation. Our first Advent Psalm, Psalm 96, called for a cosmic symphony in anticipation of God's new creation destiny of righteousness for the world. Today's Psalm takes us back into the beginning and imagines the cosmos as it was being constructed by Earthmaker as a home builder. God, wrapped in majestic light, stretching out the heavens, laying the beams of the earth and sky, breathing out the wind, raising mountains and releasing springs to form rivers, inviting birds to nest along the shore, sending rain to sustain the forests and meadows, feeding cattle, arranging seasons, and establishing the daily rhythm of the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And God said to himself, "What a wonderful world." In verse 24 of our psalm, the psalmist exclaims, "How many are your works, O Lord? In wisdom you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures." Psalm 104 is a poetic retelling of the Genesis creation story. The New Testament writer John describes the Creator as the Word who was with God, the Word who was God. Everything was made by him, he says. From galaxies to glaciers to grasshoppers, from sunsets to waterfalls. Act 1 is all about the wisdom and goodness of God revealing itself in the abundance and vibrant ecology of the natural world, giving God great joy and making a beautiful habitat for creatures like us, a place to truly call home. In Act 2, something even more full of wonder occurred. That creative Word, who breathed life into everything, stepped into the very habitat he had created. He began his advent the same way we all do, as an ovum in the womb of a young woman. How silently the wondrous gift is given. And in the fullness of time, Mary brought forth her firstborn son, who satisfied his hunger at her breast the same way the forests in our psalm are sustained by the winter rains. This incarnation reveals God's love for us, not just pity or mercy, but genuine affection, as our Creator embraced our humanity, becoming our brother, making himself at home among us for 30 years, tasting human experience, the good with the bad. When Jesus was circumcised 8 days after his birth, it was the first of many wounds that he would suffer. When his adopted father Joseph died, Jesus tasted grief and felt the pain of tears flowing down the face of his desolate mother. Surely he bore our griefs and carried our sorrows. We caught glimpses of him as Creator when he turned water into wine, multiplied the bread and fish of a boy's lunch to feed a crowd. He transformed the tissues of the human body from sickness to health and from death to life. When he walked on water and stilled the wind, the elements bowed to the will of their Creator. Clearly, he loved his creation, but he also came on a mission of mercy. There is something deadly wrong in the world, so much evil and pain, corruption, pandemics, and hate holding the creation hostage. As Creator, Jesus came to rescue his beloved creation from the jaws of death. He wrapped himself not just in our wounded humanity, but in our sins, our pretentiousness and pride. He suffered the horror of darkness as every poison word and act in the cosmos inflicted its venom on him. The most acute, soul-shattering trauma of his dying was the unspeakable silence of God. After 3 days, death gave up the fight. The earth shuddered, and the entire cosmos breathed a sigh of relief as Jesus rose triumphant from death, bridging the chasm, healing the rift between Creator and creation, restoring hope, bringing the hostages home, and planting a vision of the reign of God on the beaches of the old world, and inviting us to embrace His grace. The Creator from Act 1 became the Redeemer of Act 2, preparing the way for the new creation of Act 3, where forever God's home will be among His people and He will live with them. The story of creation and its captivity is crucial for understanding the immensity of the redemption Jesus brought about through His advent. It deepens our sense of wonder and joy and gives substance to our worship. Near the end of our Advent Psalm 104, we read, "I rejoice in the Lord. I will sing to the Lord as long as I live. I will praise my God to my last breath." This is the song of the redeemed, singing the praise of Christ, who is their home. In this year of COVID restrictions, I pray that it will lift your spirits to know that the Almighty Creator of all things invites you into His life and joy and holds you in the palm of His hand. Happy Advent.